Again, I've been coaching leaders for a long time, and I know I just got done saying the same thing. And just because I've been doing something for a long time does not necessarily mean I'm good at it. I will tell you, I've gotten enough data points over the last 30 years that I have developed a certain level of skills in coaching executives and leaders that I am very confident in my ability to work with, challenge, grow, bring the best out of leaders. My goal is to become world class. Am I there yet? No, but I'm working on it. Welcome to the EQ Gangster podcast, where you will learn practical tools to grow your mental and emotional health and intelligence to be the best version of yourself, both at work and at home. It is real, raw, and transformational. The journey of emotional growth isn't easy, but it's worth it. I believe in you. EQ Gangsters. What's up? What's going on? All right, hope y'all are doing amazing. This episode is going to be about reading the room. Oh, I am grateful for bottled water. I'm grateful for cypress stumps. I'm grateful for Yeti mugs. I'm grateful for coffee. I'm grateful for God's grace and mercy and patience and 5 million second chances. I'm grateful for accountability and coaching and mentorship and growth pains and adversity and pleasant emotions and unpleasant emotions and meeting new people and smiles and teeth and lips and eyebrows and noses and cheeks and ears and beards. Reading the room. I would argue most people are not as good at reading the room as they think they are. I have had a couple recent encounters with a couple senior leaders that are not as good at reading the room as they think they are. Now, let me tell you a story. One of my buddies is the CEO. I've got a number of buddies that are CEOs. This particular CEO had attended one of my EQ workshops. Actually, full transparency, my very first EQ workshop on an intro to EQ. This is back in the days. I say back in the days, 5 or 6 years ago. One of the aspects of that course was, it was an online workshop, was reading nonverbals. And the interesting thing is, this particular CEO is very people-oriented. And he has one of the two people-oriented personalities. So using the DISC model, we're going to go into that in a little bit. Dominant, influencer, steady, conscientious. Dominant, influencer, steady, conscientious. So if you're on YouTube, you guys can see me visually drawing this out with my hands. So imagine, for those of you on podcast, dominant personalities in the top left square, the top left quadrant. Influencer is directly to the right of that square on the far top right quadrant, influencer. Steady is in the bottom right quadrant. Conscientious is in the bottom left quadrant. So dominant top left, influencer top right, steady bottom right, conscientious bottom left. And the two people personalities are the influencer personality and the steady personality. The two task-oriented personalities are the dominant personalities and the conscientious personality. And the dominant and the conscientious personalities. Now, I'm not going to go into the nuances of personalities because you can have mixes. In fact, most of us are mixes of the various personalities. But typically we have a primary and a secondary. And we can have a little bit of all four. But again, you just imagine a primary and a secondary. And this leader, this CEO, very successful executive with years and years of track record of success in his organization, got on this assessment, this nonverbal assessment on how well they can assess the nonverbals of people. He went into it thinking, man, I'm going to smoke this. I'm great with people. I'm a CEO. I got great people skills. I can read people. Scored a 60%. 60%. And that's a guy who has, again, senior executive and is a relationship personality, is one of his two. That was very sobering for him. So, I'm only going to be talking about the dominant conscientious dominant mix. So for those of you all that are dominant conscientious or conscientious dominant, those are my type A's, which are the dominant personalities are the type A's, the drivers, the confident, bold, powerful leaders, typically are dominant personalities. And then your conscientious personalities are the very analytical, creative, potentially sensitive, very high expectation, perfectionist, super high standards for themselves and others. Right? That's the C, the conscientious personalities. Okay, so I'm only going to be talking about these two personalities, dominant conscientious or conscientious dominant. Why do I flip them? Because some may have more of the dominant personality and a little bit of the C, or some may have more of the conscientious personality and a little bit of the D. So it depends on which mix you are. If you have a mix of DC as your primary and secondary, or CD as your primary and secondary, there's a very good chance that you are not able to read nonverbals or read the room as good as you think you do. And a couple points of clarity and clarification. Just because you want to connect very well with people doesn't mean that you do. Just because you try very hard to connect with people doesn't mean you're good at it. Doesn't mean you're not good at it. It doesn't mean you're good at it. And I will tell you on more than, I would say with the majority of the DCs, CDs that I've coached over the years, 25, 30 years now, many, if not most of the DCs, CDs do not read the room or read people like they think they do. And the thing is, they're very confident. Ds are very confident. The majority of Ds that I know are very, very confident. And again, what's interesting is they're very confident and they think that, well, because I'm such a great leader, either I'm great at reading the room and reading people, or I just don't care if I read the room or read people. I'm a great decision maker, period. And so I get great results, and which is what matters to a D. So, and I'm using extremes, so I know there's some Ds out there that do care about people. I'm just get my concept that I'm trying to communicate and be open to it. Here's a red flag for me. If I give feedback, some very legitimate feedback to leaders that they are not connecting as well as they think they do, and the immediate response is defensiveness, that is a really interesting response for me. that tells me some really interesting things about that leader. If again, I've been coaching leaders for a long time, and I know I just got done saying the same thing. Just because I've been doing something for a long time does not necessarily mean I'm good at it. I will tell you, I've gotten enough data points over the last 30 years that I have developed a certain level of skills in coaching executives and leaders that I am very confident in my ability to work with, challenge, grow, bring the best out of leaders. My goal is to become world class. Am I there yet? No, but I'm working on it. Okay, so there's a lot of lessons that I just got done sharing, even in that. One of the exercises that I've recently done is, I do this exercise a lot I do this in workshops, I do it with individual leaders. Each personality builds trust differently. Dominant personalities build trust through results and, ironically, conflict. Most Ds that I know not only are very good at conflict, they love conflict, and some might even seek conflict. And as long as you can go toe to toe respectfully with that D, they will trust you more. If that D can roll over you and cave you, and you just bow to the power of the D, they will not respect you anymore. The image I get in my head is in the movie 300. It's an old movie back in the days where these two scouts are overlooking the sea of bad guys. I don't remember what the bad guys are off the top of my head. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie. And one of the Spartans tells one of the civilian soldiers, kind of like National Guard, no offense, National Guard folks, one of the guys from Ranger Regiment tells one of the National Guard guys, as they're looking out over the sea of bad guys coming at them, and this guy, the Ranger Regiment guy, the Spartan, kind of has this smirk on his face. And the National Guard guy, the civilian, kind of looks over at him and says, dude, why are you smiling when we're about to get run over by 10,000 bad guys? And the Ranger Regiment guy, the Spartan, says, man, I just hope there's at least one warrior out of all these 10,000 warriors that is worthy to take me on in battle and give me a good fight and a good death. Right, that's bad to the bone. And so that's kind of like how a dominant thinks, right? Is they love worthy opponents. And those people that can be worthy opponents respectfully, that can debate them and battle them respectfully in conflict, they consider them a worthy team member. That's the dominance. And again, of course, results. You've got to get good, solid, consistent results to earn trust with a D. You got to show and prove competency. They're huge on competency. How do C's build trust? Details, accuracy, systems, and processes. Details, accuracy, systems, and processes. If you want to build trust with a C, which they take the longest to build trust, by the way, because they're the most cautious of all four personalities. The more details you can give them, the more accurate those details are, and the more systems and processes you can provide to those C's, the greater the chances and the more intentional you will be at developing trust with them. How do you build trust with I's? Through inspiration, connection, relationship, and being personal. Influencer personalities, my personality, I do not like transactional relationships. They don't motivate me. Transactional relationships do absolutely nothing for me. You're not going to get the best out of me. And so I want a relationship with whoever I'm going to be in business with. I want to know you. not just like transactional stuff. I want to know you. That's an I, influencer personality. The S, steady, builds trust through consistency, through the team, through a show of support that you support them, helping them, and through relational connection and showing their value on the team. They're the biggest team players of all the 4 personalities. So that's, if you want to build trust with each of those personalities, that's how you do it. And if you want to bring the best out of those 4 personalities, that's how you do it. And I'm giving you a very abbreviated little class here. So if you are not doing that level of intention and detail with the people that you're leading and or developing, very good chance that there could be a possible, you might not be as connected as you think you are, because one size does not fit all with leadership. Everybody is unique. And then I haven't even gone over generational stuff. The difference in generations from baby boomer to Gen X to Gen Y, millennials to Gen Z to Gen Alpha, the new crew coming in. So that is something that again, I didn't even mention there. So again, just because you care, and just because you're busting your butt, and just because you might have 10,000 hours doing something, does not mean you're going to be good at something. I'll give you an example. When I was a kid, I played easily 10,000 hours of basketball. Easily. Dribbling, shooting, passing. Easily 10,000 hours. I didn't even make it on the practice squad of my small college that I was a part of. So, and my dream when I was a kid, I want to be in the NBA. Well, I'm 6'1", 250, 260. NBA is not in the cards, right? So do not deceive yourself in thinking just because you think you are good at connecting with people, or that you want to be good at connecting with people, thinking that you're good with connecting with people and wanting to connect and even working hard at connecting does not guarantee that you're actually good at it. So, suggestion, I would spend time with each one of your direct reports and ask them to their face. I mean, now I would have an idea of what personality they are. And if not, if you don't know, ask them, hey, do you know what personality you are? Have them take some DISC assessments, whatever assessments you use, right? There's all kinds of assessments out there. DISC, I like easy, I like simple. There's four personalities. Now there's mixes of each and all that kind of stuff, but Myers-Briggs is just a little too complicated. I mean, I do that too, but DISC is just easier. It's easier to teach. It's easier to wrap my head around it and to teach other people to wrap their head around it. And so that is what I would do, is ask them, sit down with each person, what's your personality, and what can I do to connect with you more effectively and to build trust with you better or more quickly or whatever. And you might be surprised by the answers. And maybe even before you ask them that, is ask how you're doing. Hey, scale 1 to 10, how am I doing at connecting with you? How am I doing at building trust with you on a scale from 1 to 10? 10 being I'm doing great, 1 being I'm sucking like a Kirby vacuum. So can you read the room as good as you think you can? I will tell you, I have 2 people in my life that are masters at reading people. I mean, I'm one example. I thought I was great at reading people until I have spent time with these 2 folks. One's a dude and one's a woman, and they can read people. They can read people. I wish I could read people like they do. But I'm learning. I'm studying both of them and asking them both a lot of questions. These people don't know each other, but I'm asking them both questions independently and trying to build my file so I can continue to get better at reading people and reading the room. So there's a great book, Personality Plus. It's an old book. It was written by an influencer, by Florence Littauer. And it uses a different model than DISC, but it's the same model. They just use different names. They use sanguine. So DISC, so dominant was dominant choleric, sanguine influencer, phlegmatic, steady, and melancholy conscientious. So it's the same 4 personalities. The Personality Plus model just uses different names for their personalities. That's a great resource, old book, but great skinny, and that is very helpful. Your emotional health and fitness is worth the discomfort that is required to go through to become the best version of yourself. You deserve to become the best version of yourself. Your friends and family deserve you to be the best version of yourself. Hope this was helpful.